Hi everyone! Welcome to day 3 of Song Cycle for Vox Femina. Before we get started, I would like to encourage everyone to donate to Vox Femina. I've included the group rev link below in the description, and I encourage you all to give what you can. $1, $5, anything will help. We're unable to have any concerts this year, and while we normally do this fundraiser every year, this year it's become even more important in order to keep the choir alive. We really won't be able to survive unless we raise enough money this year, and this is the same as any other arts organization, so I encourage everyone to give to your local arts organization, and especially for Vox. It's one of my favorite organizations, and so I hope that I will be able to continue to sing in it next year. So today I thought that I would sing some Irish songs that have history to them. So the first song I'm going to sing is Oró sé do bhath, which means "Oh, you're welcome home," and it's actually originally a hauling home song. So these were groups of songs, types of songs that were meant to welcome a bride into her husband's new home. And there would be like a big procession and all of that. And so they did this song originally during the Jacobite rebellion, welcoming James's son, hence the Jacobite name, Charles. And it was originally called Harlas Og a Vicary Hamus. I may have said that wrong, but it was welcoming him back to Ireland and Scotland to try and usurp the throne, the English throne. And then later in 1916, it was reworked, and the lyrics that I'm going to be singing were written by Padraig Pearse, who was one of the leaders of the Irish Rebellion in the early 20th century. And so this was meant to call all of the soldiers that were fighting in World War I home to Ireland to fight for independence. And it's kind of appropriate because, you know, when a bride comes into her husband's home, it's supposed to be starting a new life. And so I think he was hoping to inspire people to fight for a new home, for a new Ireland. So that is sort of the history of this song, and it still inspires a lot of really fierce emotions in people when you see them sing it. And they just celebrated the 100th anniversary a few years ago, so even though it's been a few years, I'm sure it's still in everybody's mind. So without further ado, here we go. Oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, anis hecht an tauri, sé do bhath an ban leabhar, be grechtúr be ingevin do chuivra, sé merlach, stúdilta leis na gáliv. Oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, anis hecht an tauri, tá granne ele tachtar saia, oli arma be harda, gelid hen is ní gal na Spani, is cud a sidrig galiv. Oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, anis hecht an tauri, abhaile rína bhart go bheca mín beo in ach seachtain, granne bhfuil sa míle gascí, ag fógart fan galiv. Oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, oró sé do bhath, anis hecht an tauri. So that's Oró sé do bhath, and I also thought that it was kind of appropriate since we are all welcoming ourselves home to work from home during this quarantine time. Songs about home, I think, are very appropriate now. That was also one of the first songs that I have ever learned in Irish, so it's another song that's very close to my heart. So this next song that I'm going to sing is a very difficult one for me, who is a non-Irish speaker, non-Gaelic speaker. It's called Amhrán na leabhar, and it is Amhrán na leabhar means song of books, and the story is about, it's a really sad story, and as a librarian I love stories about books, but this one is particularly tragic. So just to give you a little bit background, England had banned the Irish language, both in printing and even in the law. So it was very difficult for people who had grown up with the language and were speaking the language to suddenly have to learn English. And I'm sure that this is a common story for people who are immigrants who English is not their first language. It can be really hard to adjust to life when you all of a sudden have to give up your language. And so in the 18th century, or maybe it was the early 19th century, there was a schoolmaster who had a large collection of books that were written in Irish, and he was appointed to a different position somewhere else. So as he was moving, he decided to send his books by ship, and they were leather bound, absolutely gorgeous, one of the largest collections in Ireland, and the boat sank. It hit a rock and it sank, and all of those books were lost. And it was extremely tragic because it was like this huge part of Irish culture had just completely sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And so this is a slow piper's tune. It's an air that's meant to try and lament the loss of these books. And it was originally written by Thomas Rua O'Sullivan, who was a poet and musician, and in County Kerry. So this is me trying to learn it. Again, I got these lyrics off of songsinirish.com, which I encourage you to explore if you're at all interested. The translation is not completely there. It's sort of hard to find a full translation of it, but you kind of get the gist of it. And it's very long. It's 5 verses, but each verse is like 3 verses and a chorus within it. So all of the verses have the same melody. So I'm just going to try and learn the first verse. And so like I said, it's broken up into like 3 verses and a chorus. So there are 4 lines to a verse within the verse that I can sort of tell, and then the melody repeats. And then for the next 4 lines, there's a sort of chorus with a slightly different melody. And then at the end comes back the verse, the strophic melody from before. So I'm going to give it a go. I've listened to it a lot in preparation for this, and I think I've got the melody down, but we'll see how it goes. Gokuan belin chukasame kashkaline vindarevra marashol terflid na fariger har solugen I port magido stadasha fehuri minchin mahasar din ve shelar ertaher marvashterlan Iskjarger ala nachtara akach mollen Germordo enin do halahas antachtren do fra mochri le hattersha idivlinganti chalma gomjerdantiri chasoshal dorabantin. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining, and once again I want to encourage you to support Vox Femina by clicking the group rev link below.